How's it going, guys? Lexi Midnight here, back for another video. This is pre-recorded gameplay. It's just a couple matches I ran through. There's nothing special in these games. Occasional goal scores and saves. I'm making this video hoping that the developers will see this or come across someone saying similar critiques on what I need or what needs to be fixed in this game, and just some critiques to you players so that you can improve your gameplay. Because most of the issues in this game are coming from players who just aren't open to creating opportunities to score by passing, and just some players are just selfish, ball hogging, and overall just kind of ruining the gameplay. Now, I'm gonna start with the basic stuff of what I believe the game needs to improve from here to release. Obviously, this is a beta, so a lot of these things are subject to change over time. And one thing you're definitely going to notice in this match is one of my critiques is the animations. So one thing I do love about this game is the animations. I love the way that the players gain possession. There are some animations that are rarer than others, like if you're facing the opposite direction, but you're at a landing point, the player will jump up in the air, both legs, to try and capture the ball. So it'll hit their heel, and then immediately it'll be on the floor for you to gain possession. I love the animations for possession in this game. It's just overall really cool, really fluid, like that, like how he hits it on his knee to get it to the floor. But one problem I do see with the animations, especially if you're in these like different servers, where I'm in the Asian Northeast server playing against Asian players, you're gonna notice that there are times when the ball is being passed to the player and it will go directly past the player. Like, it won't happen to you because the animation will activate immediately to you. But let's say the goalie is about to kick to a player, which he might right now. He's going to kick to a player. The ball is going to bounce past the player before he gains possession sometimes. Now, I honestly don't know how a developer could fix that. The only thing I can think of is maybe rollback netcode similar to the fighting games. But there are just moments when straight up the ball will go past the player, so I'm adjusting thinking the player missed the possession, but then the animation will finally kick in. Like there. The ball looked like it went past the player, and I didn't know what to do there. I wanted to move up to sort of go in for a cross because I think he was going to get stuck in the corner, but it ended up getting kicked towards my direction, and I just headed it to try and get it to one of our players. I didn't know what to do because the animations aren't as precise. Now, I don't know how that can be fixed. I don't know if that's involving internet connections between this server and my native server, or if that's just frame data and maybe it's just laggy. Like, legitimately, I do not know. And I don't know how that can be fixed. I just know that it is something that could be improved on, so I'm definitely going to put it out there to give the developers an opportunity to really respond to that. Another major critique I have is probably the goalkeepers. So, in the Discord Rematch server, I've noticed they said that they were going to try and improve the goalkeeper's hitbox. I don't agree with that in the slightest, in my opinion. I believe the goalkeepers are actually in a strangely good place. Like, surprisingly balanced. And I know that's going to surprise a lot of people because a lot of people are going to say like, "Oh, but when I'm playing goalkeeper, it's like it sucks." And this is actually going to be an opportunity that is sort of ugh, I love that goal. I don't know why. The curve shots in this game are extremely satisfying. But back to what I was saying about the goalkeepers. When it comes to the goalkeepers, I feel like they're in a strangely good place. There was a match where I'm going to post before this video, so if you guys get to watch that video before this one, you'll understand what I mean. But I had an opportunity to intercept the ball and shoot for the goal. And the goalkeeper was actually in the way of the ball, and I feel like the ball landed at his hands, but it went over him and went into the goal. I just feel like the hitbox is in a strangely good place that it's almost unfair to the goalkeepers and unfair to the players. So, if I'm saying that, I feel like it's in a really balanced place because for there to be goals that I believe that the goalkeeper should have gotten and then goals that I believe the goalkeeper shouldn't get, that must mean it's in a good position. The hitbox is strangely good to the point that if it gets any tighter, I feel like it'll be impossible to play goalkeeper, because when a ball is heading your direction, you can absolutely catch it, you can hit it out of the way. There's a lot you can do as a goalkeeper, and the amount of distance you can cover is really good considering how small the goal is. So I believe this is an opportunity where I get to make a save, and I'm gonna show you what I mean. Whereas like, oh wait, no, maybe it'll be next possession. But in any case, I feel like the goalkeeper position is in a really good place. That when some balls go past me when I'm the goalkeeper, I feel like it's completely fine. Like that goal was deserved. I just made a misstep or a misplay. And then there will be opportunities when I'm trying to score against a goalkeeper that I feel like maybe I robbed them of a goal. Like they were in a good position, they responded accordingly, and the ball somehow got past them. So for me to say that the goalkeeper position is actually in a really good state, that must say something about how good this game actually is and how precise the development team actually went through the effort to make these positions viable. Because I always thought, nobody's going to want to play goalkeeper because it's going to suck. You're going to be, like, it's going to be a 5v1. Because at the end of the day, one of the major problems involving the players that I'll get into later is nobody likes playing defense. I love that save, by the way. Again, that was a really good opportunity for me to take advantage of. Now, do I feel like the player should have scored that? A little bit, yes, because I felt like I was just out of range, but I got to it just in time. So it's just in a really good position, honestly. For it to be in that state, it would allow for subpar goalkeepers, players who maybe haven't touched the goalkeeper position yet. It would allow them opportunities to save their team when other chances wouldn't arise. As a goalkeeper, it's definitely one of the toughest positions. I think being a midfielder is the best position. Being a striker, sitting up and towards the enemy territory, is definitely more difficult than just being a midfielder because you get more opportunities being a midfielder. Being on defense is definitely difficult, but I feel like if you're constantly in the right position, you're limiting the options that the enemy team has to score. As a goalkeeper is definitely the toughest position, only because you're trying to make insane saves from players who are openly trying to deceive you. At the end of the day, the enemy team will kick the ball at the wall and then try to get like a bicycle kick in because they're going to expect you to dive on that first kick. And just those opportunities, they'll mess with you. They'll absolutely mess with you. I've had two players who were just playing tiki taka with each other right in front of me, and nobody was on defense trying to help me because they were all in the enemy territory. So when I see one player going in for a pass, then one player kicking towards the wall, my first instinct, oh my god, it's coming my direction, I need to dive. I dive, then the ball hits the wall, goes to the player, he headers it into the goal. So for people to say that the goalkeeper is hitbox is kind of broken or OP, I just don't agree. When there's so many options to deceive the goalkeeper into getting a free goal. I believe it's in a good position only because since the hitbox is at a decent state, it would allow for like just more saves. You wouldn't make as many mistakes. It would be a bit sharper. Just overall, the goalkeepers feel like they're in a good state. I believe they shouldn't be touched. I know they were already talking about adjusting the hitbox, but if developers, you happen to see this by the time the April 18th beta rolls around or the full game release comes out, I believe you should leave goalkeepers as they are. They are in a really good state that the saves that they make feel fair, and Honestly, limiting their hitbox more would only just make the position worse. People will hate it more. Calling the goalkeepers OP in their current state is a lie, because at the end of the day, you could get set up with a player who just isn't a goalkeeper. Having that extra bit of leeway for defense is extremely helpful. Um, my only other major critique in terms of the gameplay is probably the color of the character models. Now this is more just preference. It can absolutely be ignored, but if you notice, the gameplay style is very vibrant, especially in this desert, and I love how vibrant it is. But in some lighting, the characters feel very dull, especially in this one where we're in the stadium. The characters suddenly just lose their flashiness. They lose their color and their vibrantness, and certain palettes just aren't as like good. Like I love this white black palette that I made for my away team because it's very vibrant and I feel like it definitely separates me from not only the field, but it also just it makes me feel comfortable that I can see my players in such a vibrant state because like obviously the enemy team's red and my team's white. I can see my team perfectly. So if I'm going to make a lob or I'm going to make a pass, I know exactly who I'm passing to. Whereas when it gets dull, suddenly the colors kind of blur. In this state, and the reason I'm even running this color is because if you notice, when we do get into the more vibrant colors, they're obviously a darker red and I'm a more vibrant white. But with certain color palettes, it gets a bit confusing. So some teams will end up just not looking like opposites at all, and I will try to make a pass, not noticing that one of my teammates is actually in a bad position because I miss just based on the little bit of information of looking at the field around me. Like, I have no spatial awareness. There's just I'm given a little bit of information and I can't really tell where the enemy players are unless I'm like really scoping out the field. And since this game is so fast paced, you really are just limited on how much information you can absorb and then what you can do based on that information. Right now, I love the color palettes in this match because since we're such a vibrant white, I feel like I can tell apart the teams very easily and I can make my decisions much more responsive because I now know who not to pass to based on their position compared to the enemies. Also, I feel like the minimap is kind of worthless. I'm never looking at the minimap except when I think there's an enemy player behind me. So if I'm ever glancing at the minimap, it's only just to see if there's a player behind me. So in reality, I don't know. Something about the colors is throwing off the gameplay. With the right color palettes, it looks perfect, which is why I run black, black, white, and white, white, black. Those are the best palettes for gameplay because you can tell everything apart so easily. And the enemy team will never have the same color palette as you, so that's wonderful. But if you're running like a unique color palette where you're maybe running a strange color, and then the game try to auto sorts the opposite color palette on the enemy team, it may just get blurry. It may dull your vision, and you're not going to be as responsive because you might pass like not expecting that an enemy player is right there. You have to make split-second decisions with such limited information. So I feel like by adjusting the colors of our characters, making us a bit more vibrant, it would allow us to see a lot more than I'm seeing right now. Um, those are the only major critiques I have involving the gameplay. Involving the gameplay, it's damn near perfectly fine. Damn near. Other than that, just animations need to be fixed, connections probably need to be adjusted, and then the colors need to be a little bit brighter, in my opinion. Now, those are the only major critiques I have for the gameplay. So developers, that's up to you if you want to fix them. If you believe everything's in a good state, then you adjust it however you need to or leave it however you need to. I believe goalkeepers should stay the same and should not be touched because they're in a really good position. It all just depends on the skill of the player. Speaking of players, I'm now going to move on to the critiques I have involving new players so that you can actually improve your gameplay. And one thing I've definitely noticed is a lot of players have developed this blue lock mentality, sort of like an egoist style, where they want to do everything by themselves. Now, I don't have a problem with this, especially if you have the skills to back it up. Because in the time that I've been playing these tech tests, I've noticed that some players are legitimately good at dribbling. Like they want to play like Bachara, and they'll dribble past a player, they'll rainbow flick over a player. Just some players definitely have the aptitude to outplay people when it comes to dribbling. Do I believe that everyone is good at dribbling? Absolutely not, because it is definitely a skill that needs to be mastered. I'm not good at dribbling. I barely do it. The only time I do it is when I rainbow flick over an enemy player. And even then, you'll rarely see me do that because my goal is to try to get it into a position where somebody else can score. I've been playing a lot as a midfielder because midfielders are just the best position in this game. You get a lot more information, a lot more time, and a lot more opportunities to open up. If you're like constantly in the enemy team's goal, you're definitely gonna limit your options. As a midfielder, it is the best position, in my opinion. Also, that save was insane in my... Oh my god. Ugh, that goalkeeper was legitimately good. But here is an example of a terrible goalkeeper. Speaking of which, he makes an amazing save, but because we're running out of time, he egos it. He straight up thinks that he's going to be the best opportunity to score. So he takes the ball, he moves up into the field, and he's going to try and dribble past this person. He actually does. He does an extremely good job. But now he has 3 people on him. He had up to 3 people on him. He should have passed for an opportunity to score. In my opinion, players are doing too much to try and score by themselves that they forget that this is a team-based game. Now, for those of you that don't know what Blue Lock is an anime that essentially, instead of the stereotypical anime where it teaches you about teamwork and friendship and like you should always do your best to help your team win, Blue Lock teaches you about the ideology of an egoist, someone who purely relies on their own skill to perform. And one of the lines in Blue Lock that a lot of people tie their heads around is it's better to lose 3-4 and score a hat trick than to win. Now, in my opinion, if you can score a hat trick and you can get 3 points, that's fantastic. But if you lose the game, there is nothing inherently valuable about that. And I get it. It's awesome to score goals. In this game, scoring goals feels extremely satisfying. Like, extremely satisfying. But overall, I believe that playing as an open player, making those extra passes, you open up more opportunities to score. I don't know why people have wrapped their heads around this entire egoist mentality. I get it. It definitely makes you a better player in my opinion. I believe having an ego definitely makes you a better player, especially if you have the skills to back it up. But if you don't have the skills, all you're doing is limiting your team. I try to play as a midfielder. I try to pass to my teammates. I try to do everything I can to open opportunities. If I see an opportunity, though, I'm absolutely going to take it. Like this, I didn't expect the goalkeeper to get it, but that's a good goalkeeper. An opportunity like that occasionally opens up because the goalkeeper will move up a little too much and make a mistake. And so far for those shots, those curves into the goal, I'm 7 for 12 of them. I'm over 50% on my scoring ratio for those shots, and I honestly love them. I've made some crazy goals in this game, and it is extremely fun. But what I find more satisfying, I don't know if it's just because I love the idea of assisting more, but I'm more into the idea of assisting. I love making those passes, and then my teammate scores. I love kicking it against the wall, and my teammate does a bicycle kick into the goal. All of those extra passes I'm making are allowing for you to shine. So why wouldn't you do the same for the players on your team? When you know you're getting like man marked by 2 people or man marked by 3 people, why are you going to rush to try and make a goal when you can see an open teammate, quick make a a rebound on the wall or even pass it to someone next to you so that they could have a chance to score. That's what's going to get people up in the ranks. At the end of the day, skill can only take you so far. Now, if you work hard on to improve those skills, then yes, absolutely use your skills to your advantage. If you can out dribble somebody and get it all the way to the goal, do it. But if you can't score with those skills, what's the point in being a good dribbler? Like right here, this is a good opportunity for me to take. Now, unfortunately, the goalkeeper does end up getting the ball and taking it from me. But what I was going to do is I was just going to pass it, like do a stereotypical tap into the goal. It was at a good angle that it would have absolutely gone in. Granted, aiming with the passes are a bit difficult in this game. But again, that's just a skill I need to improve on. Do I believe that this game definitely has its fair share of issues when it comes to the mechanics? Yeah. Yeah, it has its fair share, but I feel like oh my why? Why are you giving a free possession away to the enemy team? There's no point in kicking it straight. In my opinion, you should never kick straight in this game. The only time you should shoot straight is if you're trying to get it to your teammate. But yeah, I don't know. Just the egoist mentality has definitely ruined the gameplay, in my opinion. I feel like our team definitely needs to understand that there needs to be players on defense. There needs to be players on offense, and there needs to be players in the midfield. Now, obviously, I'm in the midfield right now because two of our players are on defense, and our goalie is trying to make sure that that doesn't go in. God damn! This is pre-recorded gameplay, and I'm still pissed. But in any case, you need to be willing to just give up your ego for another opportunity to score. If you're on defense, your goal is to get the ball and move it up to the offensive line. If you're on offense, your goal is to score. If you're sitting in the midfield like I do, my only job is to make sure that you get the ball on the offensive. If we had 5 players right now, I would want, and this is what I want for everybody in this game, is we need 1 player near the goal, 1 player on offense, 1 player in the midfield, and 2 players on defense, so that the goalie has support. Because I've seen like many moments where the goalie is just by themselves against 3 players. Like, what do you do against that? You don't. 1 player is going to pass, 1 player is going to kick it against the wall. Then when you go for the dive, praying to God that that falls into your hands, another player is just going to header it into the goal. There's nothing you can do if you leave the goalkeeper alone. If you're up there with him, at least you get the opportunity to help him defend, to help him respond. Like, look, the goalkeeper's not even in the goal. Why? Because barely anybody's on defense. All our players are on offense. This guy gets a free pass. The goalie's nowhere to be found. There was nobody on defense. This is entirely up to the players. This is on the fault of the players. Now, should I have backed up and been a defensive player? Absolutely. But to be fair, I was. I was on our side of the map. But if you saw at the very end of that match, our teammates were nowhere to be found. They were all moved up. Why? Because they thought we were going to have possession and we were going to pass it up. It was a 5v4, and they still egoed it. I believe that players are playing too selfish right now, and that you need to understand those extra passes will absolutely get you goals. Will they get you a goal specifically? No. Will they get you an assist? Most likely. All those extra steps that you make are ultimately going to make you better at the game. That extra lob to your teammate, that extra pass just to get it away from the 2 people that are pressing you, that extra rainbow flick so that you could just get past a player. All those extra skills that are added into the game are for you to use to your advantage. If you just ignore using them, what's the point in playing? Your teammates are just tools for you to win. Now, wow, I sounded like an egoist right there. I didn't even mean it like that. Yeah, hopefully you understand what I mean. I don't know how to explain it. But at the end of the day, if I'm in the midfield and 2 of my guys are up there in the fucking goal, my goal isn't to score myself. My goal is to get it to one of them and give them the opportunity to score, because I'm not close enough. There's probably defenders on me. I don't have the opportunity to score. Also, this is a 5v1 right now, and I find this hilarious that my teammates just could not score. Like, he defends it twice before we get our first goal. Like that. I genuinely find that ridiculous. How is it a 5v1 right now and you're this bad at scoring? And look. He's gonna ego. I think this is the guy that actually scores too. There we go. See, all he had to do was play mind games with the goalie. That's all you have to do to score. If you're going for a goal, your best bet is to play mind games. If you don't have the time to play mind games, your best bet is to pass. Now it's a 5v4. Now it actually becomes a game. So I was gonna use this pre-recorded gameplay more as just background for my commentary, but I could also use it as ways that people could improve. Also, Michael Kaiser here. But yeah, I just there are definitely opportunities that are missed out just because people are egoing it. Also, sorry if you hear that in the background. That's my stepson. Don't be afraid to open up an opportunity for somebody else. At the end of the day, you still get the assist. You still get points for it. I'd rather win 4-3 and let the enemy team have their hat trick. That one player on the enemy team can have their hat trick. I won 4-3. Screw them at the end of the day. That's going to get your rank up in ranked. Is just open yourself up. Be a team player. Now, is it going to make you the best player on the field? No, but it's definitely going to make you more of a viable option. At the end of the day, there in real life there are even rewards for like man of the match. Man of the match usually goes to the people who make the smartest plays. It will go to the midfielder, it'll go to the goalie, it'll go to the person who is the most valuable in the match at the time. And sometimes that doesn't even go to strikers. Like they get the Ballon d'Or at the end of the day. But honestly, I don't think I should keep going. That is probably the most I can say for this game. At the end of the day, the biggest problems in this game are the players. And I will repeat that time and time again. At the end of the day, I'm going to keep saying that. It really is just the players. The gameplay is damn near perfect. The developers have done an extremely good job making this game very fun. I do hope that things will get a bit more polished. At the end of the day, this is a beta test, so this is all subject to change. Um, but the more precise it becomes, the better the game is, and then people will have less to complain about. At the end of the day, they can only complain about their lack of skills or the lack of their teammates' skills. And if you have a game like that, the game is damn near perfect. Ah, oh, come on. I forgot my teammate didn't even get that. I was passing towards him and he didn't get it. Oh, that pisses me off. But yeah, this game is fun. This game is great. Everything about scoring these goals is amazing. Everything about these passes, Ugh. I don't think we're ever going to get a game like this within the next 10 years. This is going to be a once-in-a-lifetime game, and it's going to define a generation of gaming. The fact that the creators of Sifu made this surprised me. I loved Sifu. Sifu was borderline a perfect game as well. I hope that this game is successful. I hope a lot of players enjoy this. And I hope it gets the credit it deserves because just overall, I don't I don't know how you could improve upon this. And the fact that you can't improve upon this tells you a lot, not only about the developers, but just where the direction of some of these games are going. Like when I see FC 25 or the old FIFAs, like I thought that was the best soccer could ever get. But I was wrong. I mean, look at this. This is truly an incredible marvel of gaming history. This is never going to happen again. I love watching. This is, again, pre-recorded gameplay of me playing, but I just love watching it. There's something special about this. I don't know how to describe it, but I hope that this generation of gaming will never change. Oh, that goal is beautiful. I love using that goal. I've used it so many times now, and it's always gotten me a free goal. It looks like it's going dead on to the goalkeeper, and then it just goes to the right. It's beautiful. Again, I don't change a damn thing. Just fix the animations. Oh, my dog. Just fix the animations. The goalkeepers can stay the same. Everything about this is beautiful. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you take something from this, either the developers or the players. I hope you understand that this really is a team-based game, and you need to be careful with the way you play. If you have skills, absolutely ego it. Absolutely take that opportunity to score. But if you see a better opportunity in your teammates that are free, take it. I hope all of you have a wonderful and safe day. I hope all of you enjoy Rematch. And I'll catch you guys later. Have a good day, y'all.